What's going on, Dub Nation? Warriors fans got a double dose of major news. A huge Steph Curry injury update, and the Warriors made a roster move. We'll get into all that in just a moment. But first, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We're fast on our way to our next milestone of 78,500 subs here at Warriors Today. So if you're a diehard Dubs fan and you love Warriors content on YouTube, this is the place for you. Go down below and hit that sub button right now. So NBA insider Shams Charania gave us this little update around Curry yesterday. He said Steph Curry is traveling to join the Warriors in Miami, and his status for Tuesday's game against the Heat depends on treatment response for his pelvic bruise over the next 2 days, according to sources. Golden State, we know, is on game 2 of a 6-game road trip. And we knew that the MRI did not reveal anything structurally damaged to Steph's pelvic area, as he did take that scary fall against the Toronto Raptors, and they had to hold him out of that game. He wanted to come back, but Warriors medical staff advised against it, and they held him out against Atlanta, which we all know the Warriors lost, and what I can describe as a lifeless effort. But we got a new update. We were recording this video before, and we got a new update right after recording, so I had to go splice this all in to today's video. According to Anthony Slater, Steph Curry practiced today. He's going through an individual workout right now and will be listed as questionable for tomorrow's Butler return against the Miami Heat. Depends on how his body responds to the work that he's going through on the court today. The Warriors had a lengthy and long practice, Slater said, and now Steph is going through an individual workout. If you look at him right here, he is out there on the floor. From what I can see is stationary shooting right now, but I'm sure he's going to be moving around there and getting his body ramped up and hopefully ready to go against the Miami Heat, because let's all be honest, the lifeless performance against the Hawks just told me that, spoiler alert, the Warriors need Steph back as soon as possible. This team cannot reach its ceiling unless 30 is out there on the floor. I know their record has been, not that bad without Steph playing during this season. And the metrics, the numbers, they're not all that bad either. But let's be honest, man. He's the engine that makes this Warriors team go. And he's also the only way that Golden State can end up keeping their spot at the 6th seed in the Western Conference at this point. You see that they're only a half game above the Minnesota Timberwolves, clutching onto that 6th seed in the West, and they're only a full game above the Los Angeles Clippers. But then, on the flip side, meanwhile, they're only a game behind the Memphis Grizzlies for that 5 seed, who they do play in the upcoming road trip. Also, only 2 games behind the Lakers, who they also play in the upcoming road trip. So there are wins to be had here, and wins that are necessary, in my opinion. And I do think Steph will come back on Tuesday against the Miami Heat. It's the one game that they have this week before they don't play again all the way till Friday. So I do think that they can bring Steph back for this game against the very inferior Miami Heat team. I think they've lost like 10 of their last 11 at minimum. That could be even underselling it. The Heat are a total disaster since trading away Jimmy Butler, and we can only clap it up for that. But we need him back because he is the only shot creator on this team. He's the one who provides the most spacing. Like, I'm saying common sense things right now. We know what Steph can do, and we know how effective he's been since the Jimmy Butler trade, averaging close to 30 points, dropping dimes. He's a plus 142 over 18 games. It's awesome. It's like averaging of a plus 8 per game, even though they've lost some of those battles. He's also shooting 41% from three-point range. He's been scorching, and he's been uber confident now that he has a co-star in Jimmy Butler, able to kind of take a little bit of pressure off of him and have defenses stop throwing the kitchen sink and constant doubles at number 30. Speaking of Butler, though, as we do get closer to Tuesday's game against the Miami Heat, this is his return to Miami for the first time since he was traded away from South Beach. And he said the Miami return is, quote-unquote, just another game. I don't know how much I buy into that, to be completely honest with you. I know the type of player that Jimmy Butler is. I know the type of player that he prides himself on as somebody who goes out and takes it and holds grudges and plays big when he feels like it's a big moment. And I think that this Heat return is a big moment. I also think the Miami Heat themselves are going to think of this as a big game, and Jimmy's only going to match that intensity. And he's been awesome over the last couple of games. Keep in mind, Steph hasn't played in 1 or 2 of these games already. Over Butler's last 4 games, he has been in that attack mode. He has been the primary scorer for Golden State, averaging 22 points a game. He's dropping 9 assists each of the last 4 games. That's actually unbelievable. And he's getting to the line a ton. You see the field goal percentage. He's not all that efficient at this point, but he is attacking. And that is what we need Jimmy Butler to do if Golden State really, really wants to reach their ceiling. Keep in mind, you got Steph playing at a high level. You got Jimmy playing at a high level. You also have Draymond playing at a high level as well. And with this big 3 playing at the level that they're playing at right now. I mean, Draymond has overtaken the spot for the favorite to be Defensive Player of the Year this season. The way that he's been playing on that end over the last, couple months or so, basically since the trade deadline, has been unbelievable. An absolute rim protector, a rim deterrent. He's able to switch on multiple positions. And when these guys are playing at the level that they're at, the sky is the limit for Golden State at this point. My question to you is this, though. With those guys playing at the level that they're playing at, and with Steph 100% healthy, the whole roster 100% healthy, can the Warriors win the Western Conference? Be honest for me down in the comment section right now. This will be the pinned comment on today's show, so go down below and type Y for yes or type N for no on whether or not you guys believe that the Warriors can win the Western Conference. I'll say this. Avoiding the play-in is key for this team. You don't want to be in a situation where you're playing do-or-die, win-or-go-home basketball, especially right before you have to go play a 7-game series. You want to limit the number of games that 36-year-old Jimmy Butler, 37-year-old Steph, and 34-year-old Draymond Green have to play at this point late into the season after an 82-game marathon. So, you want to avoid the play-in, and I do think that if they do, they have as good of a shot as anybody in the Western Conference to win it all because since the Jimmy Butler trade, they've had an amazing record. They've been playing a totally different brand of basketball. They've been sharing it the rock. They've been getting good shots. They've been running elite sets. I love what I've seen since his Butler trade, but that Hawks loss without Steph a couple days ago, man, that was quite the slip up, and that really cannot be afforded to be happening through the rest of this road trip, and honestly through the last 10 games of this season. As you look at the rest of the road trip, you got the Heat, you got the Pelicans, you got the Spurs, 3 teams who are honestly trying to move up in the lottery as high as they can to draft one of the star-studded talents that we have in the 2025 NBA draft. So please, 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 you have to go 3-0 there. And then you got to split against the Grizzlies and the Lakers. There's just no doubt about it, in my opinion, that you have to split against those 2 teams. If you want to make any noise, keep your 6th seed, potentially even move up. The Grizzlies win would be huge if Golden State wanted to get into that 5 spot. Man, the record has got to be 4-1 there. The record's got to be 4-1 there. The Golden State still has to be playing at a super high level. Next up on today's show, though, the Warriors did make a signing to fill out the roster and meet the NBA's requirements for the rest of the season and into the postseason. We'll talk about all that in just a moment. But first, I got to give a major shout-out to today's sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports platform because it's daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works. All you guys got to do is pick a lineup of 2 to 6 player stat projections. First, pick a sport or multiple sports. You can combine them if you want, whether it's basketball, hockey, college basketball, darts, bowling, golf, doesn't matter. Just pick a lineup, 2 to 6 players, and just pick more or less on their stat projections. PrizePicks is always trying to hook you guys up with incredible deals as well to make it that much easier to win real money watching your favorite sports. Like our free $50 in your account when you sign up using our promo code CLNS and place your first $5 entry. Here's an example of an entry that I have. The March Madness is going on and going wild right now. I decided to look ahead to the Sweet 16. Tyrese Proctor's been playing as good as anybody has in the tournament so far, so give me more than 14.5 points for him. Also, Trevon Brazile of the Arkansas Razorbacks. Give me more than 8 points. He's been filling out the stat sheet as well. Uber athletic forward. And then Braden Smith, who had 8 turnovers against McNeese State, a really tough defense to play against, is going up against the Houston Cougars defense. So give me more than 3.5 turnovers for him. You can fade my picks. You can tail my picks. Just make sure you go and do it at Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the promo code CLNS for $50 instantly when you place your first $5 entry. You don't even need to win to receive the $50. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game. All that information will be clickable down in the comment section and description of today's video. Support the show. Support the sponsor. Be a real one. All right, the Warriors signed Kevin Knox. Yes, Big Brain Smitty predicted it a couple of days ago. Kevin Knox will be on the Warriors for the rest of the season and into the postseason. He signed a rest of season contract after previously signing 2 10-day deals in February and March after the Jimmy Butler trade. Remember, Golden State lost 4 players and only gained back 1, so they did not meet NBA roster requirements at the time, ended up signing Kevin Knox and Yuri Collins to a couple of 10-day deals, and now Kevin Knox joins the Dubs for the rest of the season. He's appeared in 7 games so far, not getting crazy minutes or anything like that. He's seen time in a couple of blowouts, and overall, he could be seeing a lot of time in those last couple of games of the season. Maybe Golden State has one of those seeds locked up, and they can rest some of their veterans, and Kevin Knox gets a bunch of burn. But before we talk about how effective he can be or what his role might be or what we're going to see from Kevin Knox down the stretch, I want to say this. I want to show you guys this at least. This is what he said about adjusting. I think this was after the Hornets game when he had his, biggest performance for the Dubs this season. I think he had 12 points. He said, I'm getting more comfortable. My job is to just to fit in, play as hard as I can. And people in the locker room and in the front office of Golden State have raved about Kevin Knox and the type of player and the type of man that he is and the type of professional that he is in the building. Always caring about the team, always wanting to win, always doing what it takes to win. And that's a huge factor for a Dubs team that's, got championship aspirations at this point. Through the 7 games that he did play for Golden State, like I said, didn't play a ton of times, 7.3 minutes a game. The numbers aren't going to flash off the screen, but he was able to be effective in a couple of different areas. He was able to block a couple of shots. He was able to hit a couple of threes. I know it's not all that efficient, but he's never really going to get into a crazy rhythm only playing 7 minutes a night in mostly blowout situations. What Knox does bring, though, for those who aren't familiar with Kevin, is that he brings versatility on both ends. He's 6'8", he's a big wing, long wingspan, he's a thick player, and he can give you, versatility defensively, guarding 3s and 4s, and also, being able to stretch the floor a little bit, attack the rim. He attacks the offensive glass a lot, which, that kind of couples with him being a high motor player, always trying to do whatever it takes to win, making winning plays, and I'm not sure how many winning situations he's going to be in for Golden State, but I love to see even the guys on the back end of the bench make those type of moments. And he's also injury insurance for the bench wings as well. You got Guy Santos out there. You got Kuminga, who we know has been hurt for a long stretch this season. Jimmy, obviously, is an older player, and you might want to have to rest him if he gets sore or something like that. So, Knox brings injury insurance for those type of guys who he could see some minutes filling in for. But overall, don't expect him to be a huge factor, like a major contributor here down the stretch for Golden State. There's a reason that they waited all the way until March 23rd to sign the guy. So, it's not going to be something that's affecting the roster too much, especially when, the last time he was playing for the team, Kuminga still wasn't healthy, and he was out of the lineup. Now Kuminga's back, and he's taking minutes from guys like Guy Santos, who I really think should be getting more burn in this Warriors rotation right now. Kevin Knox, I don't see him getting too much tick unless Golden State is going to be blowing teams out by 25-30, and he gets minutes on the back end of that fourth quarter. But hey, let him hear us. Let Kevin Knox know that we love him back in Golden State. If you're happy about the Kevin Knox signing on the back end of the bench, make sure you go down below and hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. If you love the Dubs and you're happy about them making a signing that has been pretty familiar to Dubs fans so far this year. Coupling with this signing, Golden State can actually still fill their 15th roster spot. It was only the 14th spot that Kevin Knox takes up, and they still have the opportunity to, if they want, fill out the entirety of the roster with that 15th spot. But it's interesting because I don't necessarily think that they're going to go external for this move. So the one name that keeps coming back up is the guy that they signed to another 10-day contract alongside Knox. That's Yuri Collins, the small point guard, the distributor from St. Louis. Listen, he didn't do much in his Warriors tenure during that 10-day, and he really hasn't done much anytime he's had an opportunity in the association. But in the G League, man, he's been awesome, and he's a smart, young facilitator who could use some of this veteran experience and leadership up on the big leagues if Golden State was able to fill that 15th spot. But again, even more so than Kevin Knox, not really going to affect Golden State's rotation all that too much, even if they do make the signing, which I'm not so sure if they're going to at this point. Nobody really knows. Not sure where else the Dubs are going to look, though, if they were to make that signing. Like the external free agents out there, woof, they're not great. I'm about to show you guys a list in just a moment, but the names, they are certainly something at this point. If you look at the top free agents available, and this is just on my own, eyeballing, I looked at who all the available free agents were out there, and I was like, you know what? I'll pick my 5 favorite names that I think could be the most effective to an NBA roster at this point. You got Mo Bamba up there. I know. Kind of weird that he hasn't been signed yet, to be quite honest with you. He stretches the floor. He can defend the rim. Maybe it just has to do with his motor and his attitude in the locker room, the reason he's not on an NBA team right now. You got a veteran like Cody Zeller who can work around the post and get those offensive rebounds and just kind of work around the low block. A good passer, a high IQ player, but we're just grasping at straws at this point. Bucket getters like Marcus Morris or Bojan Bogdanovic or TJ Warren, again, Golden State's probably not going to look too externally. Meanwhile, a guy like TJ Warren's playing in the next G League. If he gets signed by anybody, I'm assuming it's going to be New York. And then you got 2 35-year-olds who really can't move defensively, and that's not something that I'm entirely looking for to be out on the floor for Golden State right now. And overall, I doubt Golden State even fills that spot on the roster. They can rock with 14 guys. The rotation isn't going to be more than 10 guys max, I would assume, for the postseason. Who knows, though? With Steve Kerr, you never know. He just might go matchup-based. TJD got his first minutes against the Atlanta Hawks for the first time in what feels like forever on this roster. So Whether or not they fill the spot doesn't necessarily determine anything for Golden State. I don't think it's going to affect them too much either way. But hey, we'll keep you guys updated if they do end up looking at making a signing or actually going out there and offering a contract to somebody. And that's why you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. That will do it for today's edition of Warriors Today by Chat Sports. If the Warriors make a move, you know we're going to bring you guys a video right here at the channel. So if you're a diehard Dubs fan, go down below and hit that big red sub button. We'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, let's go Dubs.